December 2022. After spending a year back in New Zealand after a mostly 10-year hiatus, I felt like I still hadn't quite found my feet. I needed to properly reconnect with my homeland. So, I decided to ditch my flat, pack a tent, and head out on an epic 6-week solo motorcycle venture around the South Island. Travelling on a Suzuki DR650, I planned to head off the beaten track in search of some of the country's most alluring and remote locations. From rugged tropical coastlines through to towering snow-capped mountains, my journey would lead me on the ultimate homecoming experience. So I'm officially in the South Island of New Zealand. Basically, I've just started my 6-week trip around, the South Island. Might do some of the North Island, I'm not sure yet. I'll see if I get bored of the South Island first, but I don't think so because there's so much amazing things to see here. I've just got off the ferry from Wellington to Picton, so that took about 5 hours. I'm on the lookout for a campsite at the moment. I was going to drive out to the French Pass and the Marlborough Sounds, but that's going to take 2 or 3 hours to get out there, so it's 6:30 at night now, so it's probably a little bit late to head out there. But there are a few other campsites along the way. And I'm only 20 minutes into my trip in the South Island, and as you can see, the scenery is already spectacular, so it's a sign of things to come. So I'm just on my way up to the French Pass this morning. It's about a 2-hour drive to get up there, so it's only about 10:30 in the morning, so I've got heaps of time to get up there. It's got a few off-road roads, I think, so gravel roads, so be a good way to test the old knobblies on the DR. Let's get into it. These turns are lovely. Woo! As I wove my way up the French Pass, damage to the road from the large storm that swept across the Marlborough region a few months back was hard to miss. Record rainfall caused large landslides and washouts which cut off many homes from the mainland. Damn, that's a big one. Wow, slides all the way down through the valley there. Unfortunately, French Pass campsite where I planned to spend the night was closed due to erosion in the area. I decided to cool off in the crystal clear waters before doubling back to Elaine Bay, where I'd camp the night and hike out to Piwakawaka Bay to enjoy sunset. Whoa, check out this bay. The plan for day 3 was to tackle the Mangatapu Track, a rough and steep 36km off-road trail that works its way through the Mount Richmond forest into Nelson. With limited off-road experience, I was a bit apprehensive about taking this one on. However, A biker and ex-rally car driver I met on the ferry couldn't come up with a reason why I shouldn't give it a crack, given I was on a DR650. Alright, so this is where I turn off to go up to the Mangatapu Road for my little off-road expedition. So I've reached the Mangatapu track. It says it's closed, but oh, the track is open to trampers, mountain bikes and motorbikes. Sweet, so good thing I have a motorbike. Oh yeah, we've got a few ruts. It's might have to pick a few lines doing this. Another little rutty section. If I go straight through here, it should be all good. Last one. Mate, having an absolute blast on this track. It's so much fun. Super nice day for it, and basically not a person up here. I've just pulled over for a little break because I've seen a sign, and this was pointed out on the map that I saw. It's called Murderers Rock, so I'm just going to see what it's all about. So on the 13th of June 1866, the Burgess gang of criminals hid behind the rock near here to ambush and murder 4 Wakamarina Goldfields men travelling together to the west coast, believed to be loaded with cash and gold dust. The innkeeper was stabbed and shot, storekeeper James Dudley was strangled, storekeeper John Kempthorne and digger James D. Pontius were shot. So these guys were definitely up to no good. So yeah, it's pretty bizarre standing in a place where it all went down all those years ago. Man. I'm gassed. Need some more bike fitness, man. Oh, there's a hill climb up here. Cut through over here. Oh, sawed it. Alright. Whoa. Oh, this is definitely putting my skills to the test. It's wearing my arms out pretty damn good when you have to stand up and get through those really loose, gravelly, big rock chunky sections. And on a day like today, I'm just absolutely sweating. I'm just going to check the map and see how much further it is to go, but yeah, still enjoying it, but it's definitely testing my skills. Oh, we're going up again. Oh, shit. Oh, bugging it up. It is fairly technical through here. Oh man, this is hard work. After a hard-fought battle, reaching the top was a welcome sight. In order to do the final leg, I had to remove my luggage in order to squeeze my bike through the four-wheel drive barrier. It was all downhill from here. There we go. So I'm back on one of the main gravel roads now. Yeah, pretty sweaty. I was just going to carry on to Nelson, which isn't too far away now, because I'm really hungry. I'm getting a bit hangry. So, but I've seen this river and I can't pass it up just because I'm so hot and I just want to damn swim, so I'm getting in. Woo!
Despite feeling a tad fried after yesterday's wrestle on the bike, the adventure continued. Today I'd be heading to the Riwaka Resurgence, a river that emerges from the Takaka Hill. Spring water filters through a large underground network of limestone and marble, producing freezing crystal clear water into the valley below. Local Maori tribes consider the water to have healing properties and is recognised as a wahi tapu, a sacred place.
Oh, this water is freezing. I'm about to go for a plunge down the caving system here, so you can actually swim right under there. People go under there with dive tanks, and there's a whole caving network, which will be pretty awesome. But yeah, I'm going to submerge myself, but I'm not too keen because it's so cold. Oh, that takes a breath away. Holy crap, that's cold. I put the camera under the water there, not sure if you can see anything in the underground caving network. I was going to put my head under, but it's pretty cold, so I'll give that a miss. I'm on my way up to Harwood's Hole now, which is a big sinkhole in the Abel Tasman National Park, so not too far from where I am now. And I think it takes about 45 minutes to walk in there, and yeah, really interested to see what it looks like. I think a lot of people abseil down into it, and I think people might do some caving down there as well, so I've got my climbing gear with me, but I don't have a rope, so I can't do that, but yeah, it'd be cool to go check it out. This looks like where I park up. No one else out here, so might have the whole hole to myself. We're at the sinkhole now, just scrambling over some rocks, and then we should be able to have a look down, but there's just a massive semicircle of rocks surrounding the sinkhole below. Just gonna climb up around that rock a bit, see if we can get a full view of the hole. Oh wow. Well, you can't even see the bottom. That is insane.
To wrap up the day, I decided to spend the night at Siberia Flat campsite in the Kahurangi National Park. Little did I know, I'd be in for an absolute gem of a camping spot.
Siberia Flat camping area, that's us, so I guess we just duck down here. Oh man, it's right on the water.
I found my little nook for the night, right on the river's edge. To wash off the day, I took a quick dip, set up camp, and then tucked into a cheap and cheerful meal.
Can you hear that? That is the sound of rain. So I've been awake for the past hour or so, and there's been some pretty consistent rain, which when I looked at the forecast wasn't really supposed to happen. So it's not super heavy, but yeah, it's 5:30 in the morning, and I am just slightly concerned that the fjords that I came across might be getting quite high, because water levels in streams and rivers can rise pretty fast, especially in New Zealand. So yeah, I'm just contemplating whether I pack up camp now and try and head out just in case the rain gets heavier or it keeps going for any longer. I'm just going to quickly pop outside and check the level of the river.
Fortunately, the river hadn't risen too much, but to be safe, I decided to pack up and make sure that I could cross back over the ford I rode over the day before.
So this is the ford that I was slightly concerned about with the rain. I was a bit worried that the water level may have come over the concrete bridge down here, but as you can see, it's it's well under.
The next leg of the journey was the wild west coast, and to kick things off, I was in for a wet and cold day as I rode through some torrential conditions on the way to Westport.
Woo! God damn, it's cold.
During my stay in Westport, the trusty old DR sprung a problem and was having trouble starting. After a few calls around town, I found a tyre shop that I could wheel the bike into for a battery check.
It's a good thing Westport is nice and flat. It'd be no good if there were hills around trying to push this to the tyre shop. Is that a missed call? Oh, hi there. Sorry, I got a missed call. Were you returning a call that you missed earlier? While all that was going on, I think I just noticed that the fuel switch was actually switched to off. So I think that's probably what the problem is. I must have bumped it this morning. Let's see if it works. Oh, that was a bit embarrassing. The fuel was off. Yeah, there still is some sort of a strange issue going on though. Because yeah, the other days when it was playing up, the fuel was definitely on. So, okay, well let's carry on to Franz Josef then.
After a delayed start from this morning's bike issues, I decided to call it a day and pitch up for the night at Hans Bay, just outside Hokitika.
So I'm at the Hokitika Gorge this morning. I got here nice and early, so it's just before 9 o'clock in the morning. Thought I'd get down before the tourists swarm in. But basically the Hokitika Gorge just has some really beautiful electric blue water, and there's some really cool suspension bridges that run across all the streams. So I'm just going to take this leisurely walk through the forest and soak in some views.
The water gets its electric blue colour from the fine rock sediment that is ground down by glacier movement and fed into the river. Being super fine like dust, the sediment remains suspended in the water and creates a milky appearance. I continued down the west coast and decided to take a peek at Franz Josef Glacier. The head of the glacier sits over 2,500 metres and drops to 300 metres above sea level in the space of 11 kilometres. Thousands of years ago, it would have reached as far as the ocean. The terminal of the glacier and the path it channeled out over these years can be viewed not far from the local township. Continuing south, I rode through the Haas Pass en route to Wanaka. The pass was a traditional pathway for Maori travelling west in search of greenstone hundreds of years ago, and now offers a spectacular ride through the Southern Alps, lush with native forest, powerful rivers and waterfalls.
Just pulling over here just because I've done 220,000 Ks from the last time I fueled up, which is starting to get pretty low on gas, and I thought I would be more close to where I'm staying tonight in Lake Hawea. I've booked a little place, don't have reception, but if I pull up my offline map, that should show me how many kilometers I have to go. 30k, so yeah, maybe cutting it fine. Well, I've quite comfortably done this amount of Ks before on a fuel tank. It still looks like there's a bit in there, so I think we should be alright. I'll just sit on about 90 or something the way there. There's plenty of caravans on the road, so they'll keep me going at a slow pace. Let's see if we make it. Staying nice and dry until I arrived in Hawea, but that doesn't look likely. Oh, come on, all we had was another 10 minutes of driving, but I'm getting wet again. What can you do? Oh yes, we made it. So I know the bike can do 250 Ks on a fuel tank, so that is good to know.
I had successfully arrived at my accommodation in Lake Hawea. I was staying at what some may describe as a hobbit shack. The plan was to rest up here for 2 nights before continuing to Invercargill, where I'd be spending Christmas with family.
Alright, so I'm back on the road again. I've had a nice break over the Christmas and New Year period. Had Christmas down in Invercargill with friends and family. That was really cool. And then I shot up to Christchurch for New Year's with my good friends Christina and Hayden, who live there. So I stayed with them. While I was there, I managed to get a bit of stuff done on the bike. So I managed to replace both tyres. So my front and rear tyre have been replaced. By the time I got to Christchurch, both tyres were pretty much unroadworthy. So I definitely had to get that done. The front tyre is pretty similar to what I had before, so that's quite aggressive, good for off-road. The rear tyre I've gone with something that's a bit more 50-50, something that can handle the road a bit better, but can also handle some gravel and loose rock. I also got the guys at the tyre shop to make a little bracket to go over my exhaust, because basically I was having the problem of my guard melting against the exhaust with my side pannier on. My side pannier was weighing it down, and when the exhaust got hot, it was softening the plastic and it was starting to melt. So that bracket is going to hold the panel off the exhaust now, and I'm not going to have any problems. I'm feeling a touch tender today after the last couple of days. Basically, I went on a 2-day hike with my mate Hayden. So we stayed overnight in the Young Man Stream hut. So we walked up the Ashley River, did some river crossings, had to do a bit of incline. So it was a bit more involved than we both thought. Definitely required a bit of physical fitness, so have a few blisters on the feet and the shoulders are a bit sore, but yeah, it was an absolutely incredible spot, and we had the whole hut to ourselves. It was magnificent.
To kick off the new year, I decided to head inland and check out some Lord of the Rings filming locations. The first on the list was Edoras. Edoras was the capital city of Rohan from the Two Towers film.
Alright, here we are at the first Lord of the Rings destination. Those rocks up there were part of the movie, so I'm going to go and have a walk up and check it out.
The set for Edoras was built on top of Mount Sunday and took 11 months to build. Peter Jackson and his film crew only had 3 weeks to film before the buildings were dismantled and the location was returned to its natural state. At the summit, you're presented with expansive 360-degree views of the Rangitata River and the surrounding mountain ranges. I continued a short way down the valley to check out another film location, Helm's Deep. The fortress in the film was superimposed with CGI into a valley in the Black Mountain Range. Without a solid plan for the next day, I decided to ride south until I could find some reception to check the weather. Sunshine was forecast, so I decided to head to Lake Tekapo, where I could practice some river crossings in preparation for the off-road routes I was planning to tackle.
So I've just reached the Macaulay River. From here on out it's actually an advanced off-road track, so I'm not going to go up it, basically because it's pretty involved from here, and yeah, really you want to have a buddy with you and more petrol and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll just have a quick little look. I'll go through the gate and see how it is down on the other side. But yeah, as you can see here on my offline map, from here on out you can go all across these rivers here, and then you can go way up into the mountains of the valley that's over there. River crossings straight away. Go here where it's slightly shallower. Oh man, I really enjoyed that. That was so much fun. Really good to have a good play around on the loose surface like that and the deeper water crossings. It was really good practice, and yeah, just fun to have a blast on the old DR.
Four weeks into the trip and feeling in tune with the bike, I decided it was time to get a bit more adventurous. Over the next 3 days, I plan to pass through the Manuhirikaya River from Omarama to Cromwell, followed by 2 days over the Nevis, New Zealand's highest public road.
Small one. Medium one. Large one.
A day of at least 20 river crossings had quickly built my off-road confidence. I decided to spend the night in Clyde at my mum and stepdad's caravan before setting off up the Nevis the day following.
Alright, here we go. This is the start of the Nevis Road. It's pretty easy going. I have actually been up part of this before, just up to the top, which is, you can actually get up there in a two-wheel drive car, but it's further along, and going down towards the other side is where it gets a bit trickier, from what I understand. Just swinging around because, as you can see up there, there's a pretty cool looking sluicing. This is awesome. Maybe these are just the old settlements that used to be here. I wonder if you're allowed to camp up here, because this would be a sweet spot to do it. Even a bathtub over there. Give myself a wash. I can't believe this place. I almost drove past it. It was the sluicings up in the background here that caught my eye, and it's absolutely incredible. It's one of the old settlements in Nevis, and there's all these old buildings that you can check out. You can't go inside any of them, but there's nothing to say you can't camp out here, so screw it, I'm going to chill out here for the afternoon and then set up camp and chill out.
Topping out at 1,300 metres, the Nevis is New Zealand's highest public road. The valley was initially used as a trail by Māori followed by early European settlers who farmed it in the 1860s. Soon after, miners discovered gold, leading to the Nevis Valley Gold Rush through the 19th and 20th centuries. Remnants of old villages and sluicings from the gold mining era still exist today.
Alright, so I'm about to do the last leg of the Nevis Road. Oh man, I just absolutely stacked it in the water here. It was a lot deeper than I thought. I should have gone a bit slower because you couldn't really see the bottom with all the murky water. Just gonna give this a good rev out. Well, all I can say was that was a bit of a cock-up. I guess I was going off the back of my confidence from the last couple of days with all the river crossings that I've successfully done without falling off. And that was my first decent one of the day. It was murky water, so I couldn't see the bottom. But I just decided to go for it anyway. And yeah, it was a bit deeper than I thought and went on my side, so...
Exercising a bit more caution through the crossings, I continued the last leg of the Nevis as I made my way to the adventure capital of New Zealand, Queenstown.
Woo! That was pretty deep, that one.
On my way into Queenstown, I ended up helping out two Spanish tourists who had a flat battery in their rental car. It just so happened they were also rock climbers, so we arranged to meet up and have an afternoon sesh at Y Creek.
First climb of 2023?
Yeah, it is.
Nice.
See you guys.
With good weather in the pipeline, I decided it was time for another hike. From studying the trails on my map, I spotted some potential gems in the Aspiring National Park north of Glenorchy. I decided to go and scout them out.
This place is definitely exceeding my expectations. I didn't realize it would be so dramatic and mountainous out here. It's absolutely amazing. couple of river crossings to keep me on my toes as well. I'm actually kind of tempted to find a camping spot out here somewhere, just wild camper tonight. So I've reached the end of the road now. I'm in the Mount Aspiring National Park, and man, the scenery out here is just breathtaking. I mean, check out the backdrop behind me. I believe that's Mount Earnslaw, and the steepness and the ruggedness of it is insane. I'm just having a little look at the river now, and I had a look at some of the signs around here, and you do have a few hiking options that go up alongside the river, but I don't have any cell phone reception, so I can't do any proper research. So what I'm planning on doing is heading back to Kulanorki, because it's not too far to head back, do a bit of research, and then make a plan for what I want to do tomorrow in terms of hiking.
After doing some research, I headed back into the Aspiring National Park to find a wild camping spot for the night. Tomorrow's mission was to hike up the Dart River.
Alrighty, good morning. I'm heading up the Dart River today, so heading up the Dart Track, which is a marked trail. It's just a one-way walk, so I'm basically just going to go for a few hours, see how far I can get, and then turn back and come back. You can go all the way around to the other side on this track, but that takes a couple of days at least. So just going to go for a little wander and see what the Mount Aspiring National Park has to offer. Well, I believe I'm at Sandy Bluff now. I was looking for a sign somewhere, but I think it's just more of a general area rather than a specific viewpoint. But if it is a viewpoint, I'm pretty sure it's this one, because that is a sick view. I'm just going to pull up here for 10 or 15 minutes and have a little bite to eat. Holy smokes, it's hot today. I was going to say good morning, but it's 1:30 in the afternoon. I just spent the night in Clyde again at the caravan park, so I stayed in the caravan that belongs to my mum and stepdad. And today I'm heading out to the Darnsies Pass, which is a mountain pass that runs through the Kakanui Ranges. I have been through there before, but it was a long time ago with my dad, so it'd be cool to go through again on the motorbike. Hooray, it's open. Whoa, that fella came out of nowhere. That was super close. Woo, got the heart racing.
As As I began to make my way back down the South Island, it brought on the sense that the journey was sadly drawing to a close. I still had some epics in the plan, however, starting with a ride through Arthur's Pass, a classic mountain ride that weaves its way through the Southern Alps.
Come from? I was in the abyss up here. It's glorious.
So I decided to splash out this evening. I found a cabin in a holiday park. It was only $110 a night, so a bit more than I'd pay for a campsite, but still pretty cheap really. I just had a nice hot shower before, gave myself a bit of a trim up because I was looking a bit haggard. But yeah, I'm going to go for a bit of a look around in Kaikoura down in the town there. Be a good chance to get some seafood because I'm down by the beach, and I'll keep my eye out for some dolphins and whales because Kaikoura is renowned for its whale and dolphin sightings, so might be able to get the drone up and get some cool shots. I'm just leaving Kaikoura at the moment, but I was looking out at the ocean on my way out and I saw some breaching in the waves, so I'm going to put the drone up and see what it is. That was a sick dolphin sighting. I've never had the chance to film them with my drone before, so I got some really good views of them. The last 2 days I've been in Kaikoura, it's been really windy and choppy, so I haven't had the chance to go and have a look for any dolphins, but today it's dead calm out there, so the conditions are absolutely perfect for seeing them. I'm heading up to the top of the South Island today. I'm going up to Takaka. I've got some buddies coming over from Wellington and we're doing a rock climbing trip. So it's going to be a super sick weekend. I can't wait to hit the crag. I think. Ooh, it's a bit slippery, isn't it? I think. Yeah. Alright, switch my hands. I think. I think. I think. Where's the next cliff? Is it over that ledge?
Yeah.
Whew. Come back. Okay, Jake. Okay, lower it. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm happy I did it cleanly. There's a couple of points where I was like, oh, do I need to take?
Take these two out.
Oh, yep.